Welcome to today's Explainer. We're looking at something so incredibly common today, it's probably sitting right there in your kitchen pantry right now. I'm talking about black sesame salt. It's just a tiny, unassuming little seed, right? But man, it holds this immense, almost unbelievable power over our bodies. On one hand, it's this magnificent, healing superfood that can literally revitalize you. But on the other hand, well, under the wrong circumstances, it can actually trigger an absolutely terrifying medical crisis. I know, it sounds impossible for something so mundane, right? How on earth can one simple ingredient hold that much power? Well, let's jump right in and uncover exactly how this works. Okay, let's dive into this because we're dealing with a really stark contrast today. On one side, we've got a magical healing remedy, a super nutrient-dense food that's been absolutely revered in ancient medicine. But on the flip side, when it's misused, this very same innocent ingredient can turn into a terrible medical emergency. And I mean, leading directly to life-threatening hospitalizations. It's a wild paradox, isn't it? And honestly, understanding the fine line between these two extremes is absolutely crucial for your health. Now, to truly grasp the danger here, we first have to understand the magic. Let's start with the positive side of our story. Black sesame's status as a superfood? It is unquestionable. We're not talking about some modern, flashy internet diet fad here. Eastern medicine has prized this tiny seed for literally thousands of years as a precious medicine, using it to treat things like nerve weakness and dizziness. And what's really fascinating is that modern science completely backs this up. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why the medical community loves it so much. If you take a quick glance at its core nutritional profile, you'll see black sesame is absolutely packed with vitamins and healthy fats. Think of it like a necessary lubricant for your entire cardiovascular system. It actively protects your heart, it helps regulate your blood pressure, and it even enhances your external appearance, doing things like keeping your hair strong and healthy. Let's break down exactly what it's doing with these 7 key health benefits. First up, heart health, and that's driven by massive amounts of vitamin E, omega-6, and zinc. Second, digestion. The high fiber content in these seeds clears up constipation incredibly fast. Third, it enhances your skin and keeps your hair looking dark and strong. Fourth, you get natural calcium for incredible bone strength. Fifth, it gives you this really nice lasting energy. Sixth, it controls blood pressure. And seventh, brain protection. Now, the real secret weapon for that brain and heart protection are these awesome antioxidant compounds called lignans. You can basically think of lignans as microscopic, heavily armed bodyguards for your cells. They're constantly fighting off damaging free radicals and sweeping away bad cholesterol before it even gets a chance to build up. I mean, that's an incredible, comprehensive list of benefits, right? And honestly, what makes it even better is just how accessible it is. You don't need a prescription, you don't need some super expensive supplement routine. It's a really simple recipe that you can whip up right in your own kitchen in just a matter of minutes. Totally cozy and absolutely no expensive pharmacy visits required. The process is remarkably simple. Step 1, you just wash the sesame seeds thoroughly to get rid of any dirt. Step 2, roast them on a very low heat. You're just stirring them until you hear that satisfying little popping sound and smell that incredible fragrance. And then step 3, you just grind them up finely with a little bit of unrefined cane sugar and some sea salt. It sounds perfectly safe, right? Super healthy, incredibly cozy. Well, hold on to your seats. Because guys, this is exactly where things take a very dark turn. What actually happens when an innocent, healthy home recipe gets completely twisted by an extreme, unverified internet diet trend? Well, it turns into a medical nightmare. We are going straight from that cozy kitchen we just talked about right into a frantic emergency room. Let's move to this and see how this builds across a terrifying real-life timeline. We have a 61-year-old woman with a history of high blood pressure, and she decided to try and cure herself using a highly extreme diet she just found by searching on Google. Her regimen? Eating absolutely nothing but brown rice and sesame salts. No way, right? Well, by day 41, her body completely gave out. She collapsed with severe chest pain. When she got to the hospital, her heart stopped an unbelievable 5 times, and her kidneys went into acute failure. Now, miraculously, doctors actually managed to save her and send her home. But look at day 42. Literally one single day later, she was rushed right back to the ER suffering from another horrific heart attack. The biological toll this extreme, unvaried diet took on her body completely left the medical team sweating. By forcing her body into this severe regimen, she was basically stripped bare of all essential nutrients. I mean, we're talking total electrolyte depletion here. Her blood potassium literally plummeted to 0, and without potassium, your body's electrical signals just shut down. This triggered a devastating chain reaction, severe infections, pneumonia that forced her onto a ventilator just to breathe, and a terrifying condition called rhabdomyolysis, which is essentially the rapid toxic breakdown of your own muscle tissue. So you have to ask, how does a diet consisting of healthy brown rice and superfood sesame lead to such a catastrophic, system-wide medical failure? Let's logically break down this cruel domino effect. Because the crazy part? The sesame itself wasn't even the actual poison here. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is revealing that hidden culprit. The problem wasn't the black sesame, it was the unregulated, massive amount of salt she was consuming right alongside it. The source highlights a fascinating but dangerous phenomenon known as salt sensitivity. Basically, this is a physiological reaction where excess sodium severely impairs your kidney's ability to filter, and it dangerously spikes your blood pressure. And crucially, it is exceptionally dangerous for older adults who already suffer from hypertension, just like the patient in our clinical timeline. Let's trace this deadly mechanical biological loop step by step. First, that massive excess of salt enters the system, forcing the body to desperately retain water just to dilute it all. Second, all that retained water significantly increases the overall blood volume, which puts immense strain on the heart. It's basically forced to pump much, much harder than normal. Third, this constant brutal pumping pressure physically stiffens and narrows the blood vessels over time. And finally, step 4, because those vessels are now narrowed and stiff, vital blood and oxygen completely fail to reach the organs. The exhausted, overworked heart just can't keep up the pressure anymore, and it collapses. Like falling dominoes, it is an inevitable failure of the body's cardiovascular engine. So, as you can see, we're looking at a super fragile, razor-thin line between utilizing an ancient superfood for its benefits and creating a modern medical hazard. But hey, the good news is you definitely do not need to throw out your sesame salt. You just need to strictly respect the golden limit. And here is that absolutely crucial number, 15 to 20 grams. That is your absolute maximum daily limit. Experts note that this modest amount is quite literally all the sesame you need to get all of those incredible cardiovascular, digestive, and beauty benefits we talked about earlier. And the best part? You get them entirely safely without triggering any of those terrifying medical risks. But if you decide to ignore this golden limit, maybe operating under that false assumption that more is always better, well, your body is going to strike back. First off, sesame contains phytic acid, and eating too much of it will actually block your body from absorbing other vital minerals that you really need. You're also looking at unwanted weight gain from all those excess calories. And hey, remember that fiber that helps your digestion in small amounts? Well, in large amounts, it totally reverses course and triggers severe diarrhea and digestive disorders. You can even develop skin rashes and hormonal imbalances that leave you with a super oily scalp and dry, brittle hair. Not exactly what we're going for, right? So the crucial point we need to take away from this entire explainer is this. There are two distinctly different paths to managing our health. The right way involves maintaining a balanced, varied diet, strictly respecting that 15 to 20 gram limit, and crucially, consulting actual medical professionals. The wrong way? Well, that's the path that led our patient directly to cardiac arrest. Starving your body of essential nutrients by blindly trusting extreme diets and, basically graduating from the medical school of Google search. Which brings us to a lingering question I want you to really, truly think about. In this modern era where an endless ocean of unregulated information is just a tap away on our phones, is our health truly protected today? Or are we just blindly gambling our well-being on unverified internet searches? It's a profound thought, isn't it? We absolutely must treat our bodies with respect, rely on verified science, and never, ever let an internet trend override professional medical advice. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay curious and please take care of your health.